to our final Tuesday Night Live, final in the series, which has been just fantastic. And I have nothing to do with it except introducing some of the speakers, so I can honestly say it's just been awesome. I'm so impressed with the quality of the presentations and agenda that the adult faith formation team put together last year. We're going to be working on planning for next year, so if you have some suggestions for us, let us know. And without further ado, Deacon Joe Moore is going to talk tonight about the retirement and evangelization now that you have all this free time. So without wasting any more time, let's get it.
How much free time you got, Gator? Please. Well, I'm talking to the choir tonight, like I see, which is good, because I thought evangelization probably scared a lot of people away. But you wonder what the heck I'm doing here. Why is this young, handsome deacon here? It's the one giving this talk. Very simply, I've been retired for 12 years. I've gone through it. I was forcibly retired and I was not prepared. So this helped me an awful lot. The reason why we're doing this kind of a talk, the parish doesn't know, but the diocese asked us to do this talk. When we were in formation, the Office of Maturity had a problem. They saw the trend where, I hate to tell it people, but when men and women are not created equal, there is a huge problem. And if you go to any senior citizens meeting, you can see it with a blind person can see it. There aren't any men there. There are very, very few men there. And the reason is that men, when they retire, they lose 80% of their life. 80% is in their business, is in their activities, and that's what they do for a living. And when that's gone, they only have it's not the same. Women, on the other hand, they maybe lose 25% of their life because their home is still there, their kids are still around, their parents are there, they're taking care of everything that's going on. And so they miss work, but they don't miss work to the extent that the men do. And the men have a great deal of problems coping with this loss of prestige, the loss of status, and the loss of everything else. Now, I'm talking to deacons in here, and deacons don't have that problem for a simple reason. We have a whole new life. And I was shocked the other day, I was watching Fox News, and there is a thing called an encore career nowadays. People are retiring early, and they're getting into ministry. It's unusual. A lot of people are just getting into new careers, but a large percentage of them are getting into ministry, which is flabbergasting to me. I mean, I did it, but I didn't think anybody else would be doing it. Chuck did a little earlier, but So anyhow, so what we've got here is our little program. There's a new wave of silently sweeping our churches. Two separate trends. People are retiring early and living longer. The average retiree is at 58 years of age, and this is an old program. I forgot to introduce myself. This is a program by the Johnson Institute. The Diocese of Trenton has made a special lease with Johnson Institute where they allow us to do their program. They train us, they give us a whole bunch of information, and they help us to learn. They certify us and everything else. Mr. Johnson, Dr. Johnson, has written about 5 or 6 books. This is the Keys to Spiritual Vitality. This is the retirement book here. Along with the book, this is actually a 15-week course. This is what I'm going to do tonight in 10 minutes. But it's also an evaluation. One of the biggest problems is how do I get our minds right? A lot of people have preconceived notions about what retirement is. I wasn't like that because, after all, in our generation, we changed diapers, and we got into homemaking and everything else. So we don't have the big problem that a lot of other guys had. Where it's like, well, when you're retired, you're dead. It's not like that at all anymore. So Johnson's Institute did an excellent job with us, and it's their presentation tonight. That's why we're doing I'm doing a very slight PowerPoint, but it's a little different than our normal Tuesday night talks because this is an actual course. Okay. Retirees have special development needs. These needs present opportunities for parishes. Parishes' threads run through all of these needs. Spiritual dimensions have power to transform retirements into a thriving adventure. 15 factors contribute to successful retirement. Each challenges that seeks a resolution. Retirement search for resolutions to challenges. Spiritual substance of these challenges. Retirement means different things to different people. Some embrace it, others appear indifferent, still others repel by these uncertainties. People who seem to be the most prepared often are not. What retirement is supposed to be: a rest, a vacation, a new career, a withdrawal, a stimulation, or a respite. How does one face these new challenges? Retirement gives us hope, a prospect of a new beginning. Retirement is not an ending, it is the start of a new journey. Retirement holds up the light for us so we can see this new path of challenges to become more interesting, more personal, more diverse, and more meaningful. And if there's anyone more interesting in this place, it's Pat over here. Pat has got this crazy thing where he gets on a jet, hops on a jet, flies across the country, and then prays to get home. It's a true adventure every single time he leaves. And that's one of the things that we need when we retire. We need the adventures. We need to look forward to this stuff. One of the biggest problems we have is that we have a vacation house or something we go to. We said, this is great. We got to do this when I retire. Well, it's a great thing when you're getting away from work. It relaxes you. It's great. It's wonderful that a week or two you're sitting there. But you're sitting there for 6, 7 months to a year to 3 years. It's no longer a retirement house. It's your usual house with all your usual things, and you don't have that getaway. So even though you have a chance to have that house, you think you have a nice respite type thing, you still need your vacation, you still need diversions, you still need a lot of other things. The things you had when you had to work. The new light is actually the same light we've always had all along. It's the light of Christ. Christ is with us in our retirement years, the same as he was with us all along, only more so. Retirement challenges us in ways we have not experienced. An invitation to growth in retirement requires special requirements to transform belief, reframe perspectives, reinvigorate thinking, refocus feelings, clarify decisions, and purposeful actions. If we wish the full measure of God's giftedness from God, heed the call of our faith and meet these challenges on the deepest level, the spiritual level. Age is not a requirement for retirement. Retirement does not mean a complete cessation from work. Journey from full-time to full-time retirement may take years to accomplish. During this time, you encounter personal growth and tasks and individual challenges unlike any other you have ever encountered. God is merciful, and retirement has a purpose. In retirement, we are called to expand our capacity for loving. Each day is called to learn how to love better. Retirement, our new curriculum of love. How can I learn to love better today? The answer propels on a daily adventure of cosmic proportions, a thrilling adventure of delight and awe and peace. These are the gifts and the challenges offered to you when you retire. Man. Go up there? A bit easier? Okay. I'm not loud enough? Amazing. Okay. Okay, I'm going to have one more problem. I'm going to go back and forth. Okay. Now I feel like I'm preaching. I think I was. Who knows? Oh, wait. Our first challenge is career reorientation. How do I disengage from my work career and still maintain my uniqueness of self? We must give up things from previous stages. We cannot grow until we first give up and lose. We gave up crawling in kindergarten and elementary school. Loss is at the core of all transitions. Retirement is your personal story on how you give up and how to take on. Disengagement is a necessary part of living. The need to embrace and not push away. Healthy resolutions to this challenge move from material achievement to a definition of self, toward a total definition of self in the spirit. Reorganization is inherent worthiness as a child of God. You are the first and foremost a spiritual entity. Shift in perspective is not easy. We need to think who we are, not what we do. Challenge number 2 is retirement value. Of what use will I be in my retirement years if I'm not working? This is one of the hardest ones. We need our work to define what we are going to do before we get into retirement. Often, it is good to line up a few interests. Like I said, I retired was a shock to me. I was not willing to retire at the time. I was pretty much forced out, and my pension system was that it was not a good idea for me to go back. It would be disastrous for me if I went back to work for that pension system. So I was floundering for quite a while. And I had to find myself in the usual daily routines. My daily routine between 8 and 4 o'clock wasn't really necessary at my house because there was nothing to do at my house. My kids were in school and I was at home alone. So I had to reinvigorate myself into a daily routine before I found out what I was doing, before I got into this kind of stuff. And that took some time. Luckily, we have a parish like this where we have 63 different ministries. I think we probably have more than that now. But we have so much to offer. And we have so much more for everyone to understand in this day and age. There are so many different things for senior citizens to do. Retirement, for the first time, declares ourselves as older. No one wants to be older. Feeling of inferiority and lack of self-esteem, aging seems as a bad or a not right at all. Stereotypes of unenlightened minds, developments stuck in previous stages. Aging requires change, but also offers growth. Also offering eternal growth, the growth in the spirit, in the love, and in the intangibles of living. Requires a shift in perspective, a growing in personal compassion and sensitivity, a new view of laying up treasures in heaven. Retirement number 3, personal empowerment. How will I organize the structure of my life without work? Many of us, when we leave school, we go right into the job market. The job is our structure for life. We need to have things ordered and organized. We need to direct ourselves, and this may be, for some of us, the first time when we actually have to find things for us to do. Since we don't have the job, since we don't have kids to order our lives, we have to do it ourselves, and it is a very scary proposition. Facing personal brokenness, external floundering, existing without form and function, and no cause or mission. The healthy resolutions require that you stir your own spiritual pot, to see your life as a continuing prayer, the search for love of God everywhere, and to create new eyes to see God. Dedicate your life to an ongoing mission of Christ. Spiritual empowerment takes command of your personality as never before, infused with the light of Christ. Adopt an internal focus that you have a choice every day of either spiritual empowerment or personal submission. I can't believe I couldn't be heard, but that's okay. Okay. Challenge number 4 is physical wellness. I find this to be one of my most important ones. How can I thrive, not merely survive in retirement? Myth about retirement. My mother said to me when I was working with the kids and stuff like that, and I found myself needing to go to Y to work out. My job pretty much required me to be a little bit better in condition. And she said, "What do you hope to gain by going to the Y every day?" I said, "Well, I probably won't gain a single minute of my life, but I'm going to live that life a little bit better." And that was my goal when I was scouting. I was not afraid of getting into the more physical things with the boys. And in my own career, 2 of my friends, when they got to be 50 years old, they died doing weddings. Well, one died, one had a very, very serious heart attack and was surprised that he pulled through. So looking at my life, I'm like, am I going to be able to do my job in a few years? I mean, I was in mid-30s. This happened to my friends. Thank God for technology where you don't have to focus cameras anymore, so that's helped me an awful lot. And the fact that we don't climb up the stairs in church balconies that much anymore. We do a lot of receptions in catering halls, but still, it's a very, very strenuous activity. People laugh at me when I walk and I carry my golf bag. I said, this is practice for me. This is how I keep myself in shape. People retire because they can no longer able to work. That's a myth. Nowadays, in the past, we were a connection between health and retirement. There is no, in the past, there was a connection between health and retirement. No longer. We can now think in terms of retiring to something rather than from work. Most Americans retire in good health. Health goes beyond merely the absence of disease and includes the ability to thrive, not merely survive. That's a theme in here. We don't just want to survive. We don't just want to sit on the porch and rock and go to doctor's appointments. We want to get out there and live a little bit. That's what retirement can mean. Balance, emotions, well-being, change, and the way you regard yourself in retirement. Wellness, the physical dimensions of retirement. Wellness includes strong value system, life of giving beliefs, awareness of the beauty around you, positive thinking, owning a deep feeling and emotion, reorganizing your power to choose, and the freedom of action. The highest form of health is a healthy soul. Reach beyond the material plane and approach wholeness, mindful of God's presence in our daily routine. Awareness, a reflection of God's love, thinking with faith and hope, feeling with the heart of Christ, remaining open to the nudges of the Holy Spirit, and act with confidence and perseverance. Wholeness, the ultimate health and consciousness of Christians. Retirement offers the opportunity to approach our own spiritual development in every expanding ways. We overlap layers of body, mind, and spirit. Our well-being depends upon an increased awareness and a deeper appreciation of the mystery of these forces. We're way up on a lot of you here. A lot of the people here go to daily mass. The deacons, we have our prayer life. We have a big head start. And it really helps us focus, helps us understand what's important in life, and gives us that wholeness, that spiritual self, that center core that keeps us together in the good times and the bad. Challenge number 5 is monetary adequacy. This is where a lot of people think that money is everything in retirement. And, well, how do I support myself and my family while I remain true to myself and to my God? Financial dimensions of retirement, preparation, trends toward second and third post-retirement careers. My mother had 3 careers when she retired. She decided that there's a little bookstore over here in Robbinsville, and she would go there for a few hours a day. And when she got done, it was like, oh, it's like when you get off work, get out of school, she was like, oh, this is great, this is wonderful. Now I'm done my work, I can get on to the fun things I can in my life. It gave her something to look forward to, gave her something to do, gave her a little bit of money. When the bookstore closed, she went to work for Catholic Charities. And she worked there as long as she could, because when her knees gave out on her, she couldn't stand to do the filing. And she was too embarrassed to go there and say, listen, I can't do this job anymore. And they could have given her something else to do. Believe me, they could give her something else to do. They love to keep people busy. Often income and other bonuses, like being your own boss, enriching your mind, and rediscovering and rejuvenating your spirits. By the way, Route 33 is full of little shops still, and people there need help. They need people to come in and sit in their stores for a few hours so they can get out and do their banking, do their work with their kids, pick up something and stuff. It'll be a great help if people find an interest in those stores and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Retirement requires between 70 and 80% of your pre-retirement income. They didn't give me this job because I could talk. Many variables affect financial needs. Making decisions about retirement with only a calculator misses the wholeness that we deserve. Healthy resolutions require guidance on a spiritual and a material planes. Do not become hoodwinked into thinking that retirement preparation is simply a matter of good financial planning. Growth in virtue and spirit can emerge from finding the balance between the physical requirements and the spiritual developments. I know I hit the spiritual developments over and over again, but it is a very important part. Retirees who are financially comfortable generally have a higher level of self-esteem, satisfaction, more social involvement, participate more as volunteers, and are happier. Spiritual development offers the means of transcending difficulties, but more importantly, it opens up God's truth about our uniqueness. I gave this presentation to my mother last night. She fell asleep. So I cut it down. Quality of Life presents, how can I remain happy? Chuck, wake up. How can I remain happy going into growth through my retirement lifestyle? Happiness makes up many things. Overall sense of contentment, peace, enjoyment, and usefulness. 6 life areas. Your work, career, and ministry are 1. Family is 2. 3 is personal relationships and friendship and acquaintances. 4th is self-life. Have a life to yourself also. The spiritual life and leisure. Happiness is an inside job and internal evaluation. Happiness, the degree to which you experience a sense of delight, fulfillment, pleasure, contentment, a sense of Christ present in each of these life areas. Happiness, the degree of apathy, unhappiness, the degree of apathy, resignation, helplessness, low self-regard, and pessimism. Dr. Johnson put a lot of unhealthy things in here. I try to leave a lot of them out. That one I left in. People who are intentionally happy seek changes in their lives, are highly self-confident. Happiness levels today is a good measure of happiness tomorrow. Things about your job you may not like. This is a tough one. If you have a job right now and your life is spinning out of control, don't retire, because you do not need one more set of changes in your life. You want to hold on to something that you got. Get your life straightened out and then retire. So that's the only one of those negatives there. So if everything's going good, try it. Number 7 is quality of life future. There's 15 of them, Chuck. We don't have too much to go. We're almost halfway home. I'm so glad Chuck came. I skipped the golf jokes earlier, so. Overall, life satisfaction requires a positive future. Hope is a spiritual confidence, assurance, and security, constantly reassurance that God is in charge. God's plan for the future is unfolding as it should. Nothing of this world can derail the momentum of God. Hope brings the promise of fairness, goodness, and cheer. Cheer comes from knowing that right and might of God are perennial. The Spirit always brings more good than bad. Hope enables us to believe that love remains the compelling force in life. Christ calls us to do faith in God and service to our sisters and brothers. Herein lies the true meaning for which we search. Each of us must have goals and causes and missions, a burning desire that fills us. Life goals stimulate our inner treasure, gives rise to wellness, activates healing powers within, lights our way, fills us with zest, vitality, and usefulness. Christ gives each of us a goal. This, I find, is so true in that our keeping busy, our zeal for living helps us to get through the nicks and the pains and the problems and the other things that we have. My mother, she sits there and she complains, oh, this hurts and that hurts and stuff like that. I get her out, or she goes to visit her relatives, and it's like, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened, and her whole mood changes, her whole feelings, everything change. Getting out, and I don't mean going to the doctors, getting out and enjoying yourselves. Respect for leisure. How can I find the means to rest my body, stimulate my mind, and enrich my soul in retirement? Retirement means leisure, but leisure cannot be the central focus. One person's leisure is another person's work. Leisure enjoys various ways: social interaction, spectator appreciation, that's going to baseball games and that kind of stuff. Not sitting home on the couch, I don't think, but anyhow. Creative expression, intelligent stimulation, physical exercise, and solitary relaxation. That's one of my favorite. Leisure fundamentals needs the human organism. No leisure risks gradual erosion of our human spirit. We need leisure. We must regularly vacation from our routine and to remain focused. Jane's group does a great job of helping out caregivers, giving them a respite, giving them a little bit of time, a break from their usual routines. And a lot of organizations now are seeing this, and they're trying to do that. When you have that daily grind of taking care of somebody, that we can give them a little bit of break so you get the leisure in. When leisure becomes a focal point of living, we cease the essential pleasure and rejuvenation. We can't just go to leisure. We have to have other things in mind. We have to have something else going on. Leisure loses its luster when it takes center stage. Retirees need to see leisure as a valued human endeavor, recognizing leisure's needs and acting on them. Leisure reminds us that our sole purpose in life is not simply to do, but also to be. Leisure becomes a condition of the soul. Leisure allows us to rediscover our childlike qualities of awe, wonder, and delight. Unless you become like one of these, you will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. That's from Matthew, but it's not the exact quote. You need that childlike qualities. That's 9? I'm on 10. What's it say? 9. I must have missed my button. Okay. Personal flexibility. How can I remain open to a new growth and development on all levels of my retirement years? Every measure of mental wellness accents the importance of flexibility, openness, and malleability. Is my wife still here? Oh, God. Okay, well, this is going to be a trouble one. One of my first vacations with my wife's family. I'm sorry, I forgot. I shouldn't have said that. I said, of people I know. She told me I couldn't say her family. Okay. I went, it's like, look, I had a plan. You know, we go on vacation, you have a plan, you lay things out. Oh, let's do this, the other thing. All of a sudden, the third degree. Why do you want to do that then? Why can't we do this then? Why can't we do this then? Why do we have to go from A to B? Can't we go D to C? I mean, within an hour, I said to myself, shut up, sit down, relax, go with the flow. It wasn't worth it. I learned malleability long ago. How smoothly can we fold our lives into change? We may harbor inhibitions, attitudes that push us to new views with fear and suspicion. Do we allow change? Now, this is my brother deacons are very familiar with these. Marital counseling. He's changed. She's not the same anymore. Well, after 20 or 30 years, let's hope we're not the same anymore. Let's hope we've grown and expanded our horizons. Let us hope that we blossomed a little bit. Expecting someone to be the same as when we married them does not work. Change is the watchdog of the universe. We cannot remain the same. God planned for us demands that we change, accepting rather than critical, agreeable rather than argumentative, forgiving rather than judging, temporal rather than harsh. I'll push the button. Good. Lifespan spiritual development. How can I remain as fully alive in retirement as I did in previous stages? Cultural tendencies to overvalue youth and devalue old. illogical, because with greater maturity, one gets better. Healthy growth demands we see every age and every stage of our life as good. I guess I could put this one in there. I played golf today. I was going to start this out. I was put in the young group, where we got totally destroyed by the older group. Throw that out there. My partner didn't hold up his end. The very young one. Okay. Only living now is where we can live and love. Living in the now. Yesterday and tomorrow offer no opportunity for heeding God's call. We have to live today. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. Don't worry about what's going on tomorrow. Get it through today. Unless we respond to God's call, we diminish our potential for living fully. Jesus calls us to conversion. In our retirement, we awaken to new elements of our individual style and luster. Today, we choose a new life, a new light, and new luster. 3 components of luster. Luminosity, we the people of light, we must let our light shine. Beauty, we are intimate, attractive to our spiritual core. Distinctiveness, we possess a higher distinctiveness in the cosmos. We are in the world, but our spiritual luster is not of this world. Luster gives us the self-affirmation, balance, humor, and personal motivation. We lose our luster, sorry for the pun, we become lackluster. Our ability to relax and to commit and resilience is lost if we lose the luster. I don't want to skip a page. Caregiving. Jane wrote this one. How can I give maybe Jane should give this one, I should say. How can I live out my life's commandments to love deeply, serve others without losing a piece of myself along the way? Christ calls us to love one another. How much of ourselves are we required to give? We tend to put more value on our life transition when we know that others are depending upon us. How often do we see that? When people live longer and then one dies, the other one dies also. We live for the other people quite often. Not whether, but how do we go about this caregiving business? Our lives can be in turmoil and attempting to do this caregiving. Perspective responsibilities vary in each one of us. The retirement transition may become stormy when the strain of caregiving becomes overwhelming. Many of us are pulled apart between our parents and our kids. We're stuck in the middle. We're tweeners. We've got to take care of this group over here, and then this group over here, and then we have to go back. It's like a person with the plates. Remember, turning those plates, you have to keep everyone spinning. Need for caregiving in our culture is expanding. The medical community is very successful. It's helping us live longer. Families need help. Many of us give away the last ounce of our stamina. We cannot honor God's children by dishonoring yourself. How can caregiving become energy enhancing? This is why I think of Jesus at the well, the Samaritan woman. He's there, he's sitting by the well. The apostles, they go out and buy food. And he's sitting there with this woman, and they're talking about how he can get water because he's got no bucket. Well, the apostles come back, and they got all the food, and they said, Jesus, here's the food. And he says, I'm not hungry. I have food that is beyond your understanding. We get energy out of giving people. The more energy we give, I find this in nursing homes. Andy knows this. Andy's still here. Is he holding hands with my wife? Okay. We get energy from caring for the people. Energy from giving them communion, giving them reading to them. We get more out of it, at least I do, than they ever give me, than I ever give them. Okay, you can edit this, can't you, Susan? Yeah, good. Okay, make me look intelligent. It's hard. Okay. 6 goals of caregiving that build spiritual dynamism. Gaining an understanding of your elderly needs as well as your own. Develop truly healthy relationship with aging parents. Learn how to break down the barriers that may exist. Foster positive communications. Allow Christ's healing message to guide relationships. Remember, death is only the beginning in the Christian heaven, in Christ's heaven. These 6 counsels have their power to transform and potential uncertainty and frustration into a spiritual development. Retirement is a gift. God calls us to recognize our gifts and to share what we have and have been given. It is only in sharing that we generally get to know them. This one's written by Marianne Isaac. I think she's been in there. Okay, I'm only kidding about Marianne. Okay. How can I find sustaining self and the connection in my retirement years with those closest to me? Christ's message is a message of relatedness. We can connect with others when we find our true selves. Persons who share themselves are the healthiest. What are we supposed to share with others? Our time, our talent, our possessions, the stuff of our lives that enable us to connect. This kind of sharing is called intimacy. We are lucky if we are able to connect and to find intimacy. We share on many different levels with many different people. The more we share, the happier we become. Our deepest sharing is usually with our confidants. Retirement offers us a form of sharing. A spiritual intimacy is fundamental for our faith development. Sharing is where we find Jesus. Through active listening and sharing with others, we find our true self. The community of faith, we better recognize God in each one of us in our service. That's again where the deacons have a huge advantage, is that we had a thing called listening lab where we had to learn how to listen. And that means you listen to other people, they talk, and you reflect back what they're talking. You don't dominate the conversation. It's like A and B type thing. It's all A. It's all about them. And then we also have to take spiritual, what is it, Chuck? Spiritual direction. Thank you. Spiritual direction is very, very important. And that is about us and where our spirit is moving. It is a life-changing operation, and it's something that's required for us on a monthly basis. You think it's an accident we're like this? It's no accident. How do I grow in youthfulness as I advance in maturity? We do need to become Do we ascribe to certain old behaviors? We project these illusion ideas onto ourselves. That's the changing your attitude. We think that we're a certain age that we can't do certain things anymore. Hogwash. I did that for Chuck. He likes to take it. Okay. See, when he beats me, I got to get back at him one way. I'll never beat him in golf. Why do some people never age? Youthfulness, creative qualities of God's consciousness, the realm of our minds, substance and intensify in our involvement in life. Attitude of vitality, freshness, honesty that brings color, life, and love to a person. Youthfulness is blind to age. We must be very mature to be youthful. To become youthful is in a full spiritual self. We must do the following: change negative attitudes about aging, resolve old conflicts, offer ourselves to others, develop a grateful heart, laugh at yourself, continue to expand yourself, and maintain a healthy lifestyle. And our last one, stewardship. How can I find a spiritual replacement for the benefits I formerly received at work? God bless you. Work provides benefits that we have become so much a part of our life that now we see them as a need. Work provides money. Have you earned enough through satisfaction of your material needs? Time management is our second work benefit. A sense of purpose is a third work benefit. Status is a fourth work benefit. And socialization is our fifth work benefit. These can be provided for in retirement. Replace money with the spiritual gifts that we're giving. We must recreate ourselves to become children of God. Through God, we can find status, purpose, time management, and socialization. There's one thing I see when I give out communion. You look at people, I just did the second grade the other day, you can see the youthfulness in their eyes, but not everybody. You can see some kids are just, doesn't have the same youthfulness in there. In here at 8:30 Mass, you give communion out to people, the senior citizens, you can see it in their eyes. Some of them, you can just see the little girls are still there. They still have that desire, that fullness of life. And that's how we stay young, and that's how we get through retirement. Those who have guys at home and they didn't come to this talk, please get them involved. Force them to come. I was in a senior citizens meeting the other day, and this gentleman was there I knew from scouting, and I walked over and I said, "What are you doing here?" He says, "My wife made me come." I said, "Good for you." I said, "That is the best thing, to get out and experience other things. It beats the heck out of going to the doctor. It's the only time you go out." I thank you very much for coming out tonight, and I thank you for your attention.